everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Intensity Apparel Truck Series here on Intensity Broadcasting as we're watching your drivers get their final practice underway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And looks like my timing and scoring has decided it wanted to stop working again. So bear with me a moment as we get this back up and running. We'll let you take a look at practice while we get our timing and scoring back the way it should be. See Devin Butchino making his way around the racetrack currently. As we might have to restart our iRacing sim. I'm just going to try and make one thing real quick so we can get this timing and scoring right back up. There we go. Timing and scoring is back up. It looks like we've got the wrong logos up there. So while we get qualifying about to go underway, let's see if we can get the right logos up on the screen here for you. There we go. We've got the Intensity logo there. We'll see if all the logos are correct as we get qualifying underway. Again, welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway on iRacing for the SCSRA Intensity Apparel Truck Series. We see our first drivers making their way onto the racetrack to get qualifying underway. Of course, it is the birthday boy, Devin Butchino, the first driver out on the racetrack. Coming across the granite stripe, take his first of 2 laps here. And this is a tricky 1-mile track here in New Hampshire. It's a flat track. The track temperature is warm. They're going to be slip sliding all over the place here tonight, so it's going to be a fun one to watch as Joseph Wright currently at the top of the leaderboard. Devin Butchino goes P2. Ryan Likens back in P3, and Matt Allen just came across P4. As Devin comes down through turns 3 and 4, you hear him downshift. So they are going to be downshifting here tonight. Down through turns 3 and 4 and across the stripe. And Devin Butchino jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. Joseph Wright back in 3rd. Here comes Ryan Gomes down into turn number 3. Across the stripe. And Ryan Gomes is going to jump up into the 2nd position. See, Trey Spears just went 5th. Here's Matt Allen get his 2nd lap underway. Kind of a bit of a home track for Matt Allen, not too far away in New York. Matt trying to use as much of that apron as he can to get that truck to turn down through turns 3 and 4 across the stripe, and Allen is going to stay P8 as Eddie Morris just took the green flag on his first of 2 laps. Off of turn number 4, down across the stripe. We hear Eddie Morris not shifting yet. Stays in 4th gear off of turn number 2, down the backstretch. Through turns 3 and 4 and across the stripe. And Eddie Morris is going to jump up into the 4th position as Chuck Balance. And David Hartney left the qualify. Chuck just took the green flag and loses it. Does a little Tokyo drift through turns 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to be able to hold on to it and going to have another attempt at it here. Down the front stretch across the stripe. Takes the white flag. We hear Chucky doing some shifting here off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Down into turn number 3, trying to run that higher lane through turns 3 and 4. There's a little bit more grip up on that high side with the progressive banking. Comes off of turn number 4 across the stripe. And Chucky's going to stay currently in the 11th position. So while everybody's out there's got their qualifying run under wraps now, let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. Well, you see Devin Butchino is your points leader. Eddie Morris in 2nd. Riley Gomes, Ryan Gomes. Dave Wright back in 5th with a win under his belt. Joseph Wright back in 6th. David Hartney, Trey Spears, Matt Allen, Sharn Hill, your top 10. Chuck Balance and Kevin Graham, currently your top 12 in points. Now, we know that Brett Merle won last week, but he is not going to be a playoff picture. So here's your playoff picture right now because he only had 3 races in. So Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, D. Wright, and Sharn Hill all currently locked into the playoffs. And after tonight, we'll have our drop races going. So we'll be able to see who is in and who is out and who needs to win next week in our final race of this regular season. Also mentioned it earlier, going to mention it again. Want to wish Devin Butchino a very happy birthday here tonight. Happy birthday, Devin. And love seeing you drive that go-kart with Hasbullah there sitting there next to you. That's a great look for you. So again, happy birthday, Devin, and good luck tonight. I know you're watching in the chat before the race. So we just talked about our playoff picture. Next week is the last week of the regular season. We'll move on to Texas Motor Speedway. Some drivers in a much needed win situation, both here in the Truck Series and on Wednesday night in the Cup Series. Then we'll start our round of 12, starting with Darlington and then the wild card race at Talladega. Then we'll cut down to the round of 8. We'll eliminate 4 drivers, move to Bristol and Kansas, and then cut down to the final 4 for Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So it's going to be a hard-fought battle for the rest of the season. As we still have about 2.5 minutes left here in practice, or in qualifying, excuse me. So we'll take the moment to thank all of our great partners here in the SCSRA and at Intensity Broadcast. Of course, the SCSRA Intensity Apparel Truck Series is brought to you by Intensity Apparel. You can check us out over at intensityracing.com. You can find Atlee's at Manweese's Racing Gear over there, as well as some other novelty t-shirts and other drivers t-shirts. Or if you're looking for swag for your own race team, get a quote from us over at Intensity Apparel or IntensityRacing.com. You can also check out our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, visit Race EPI. Of course, all links are down below in the description. Of course, it's Devin's birthday. Might as well give a big shout out to Dev Sports Cards on eBay. Looking for that last minute Mother's Day gift coming up. Sports fan in your life. Father's Day is coming up soon too. Check out Dev Sports Cards for all your sports apparel and cards needs. Ryan Gomes says, New Hampshire, where's Blaze? He's on the other side of the state. He's not too far from the racetrack, I don't believe. So it'd be great to see him. Just grabbing a sip of water before we get ready to do some racing here in less than a minute. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to drop into the race. We've got 11 drivers who have taken time. One driver, David Hartney, has not set any time out there. I don't know if he's actually going to be racing here tonight. So with about 30 seconds, not even 10 seconds left before we get ready to grid the drivers here and get ready for 125 laps around one of my favorite racetracks here. And yeah, I just got word David Hartney will be racing. He just is not qualifying. So here we go. We're going to take a look at our starting grid. And on the pole here tonight, the birthday boy, Devin Butchino. Riley Gomes going to start to his outside in position number 2. Sharn Hill rolls off third in the 05, with Eddie Morris in the Morris Customs machine rolling off in 4th. Ryan Gomes in the Cat 5.5 rolling off from the 5th position. That's a lot of 5s right there. With Joseph Wright to his outside in the 82. Then Ryan Likens in the 214. He'll be rolling off from the 7th position. And Trey Spears back in 8th. David Wright and, Matt Allen and David Wright make up row number 5, with Chuck Balance and David Hartney rounding out the field here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So this track has a lot of character too. A lot of people don't realize there's a road course that runs up the outside of the racetrack here. You can see the entrance to the road course right there to the right. Also some great camping spots up there. This track is known for its camping. And even though a lot of times the racing looks really boring on TV, when you're here at the racetrack watching these drivers slide around, it is a totally different experience. As the pace truck makes its way down on the pit road, Devin Butchino going to lead him down to the starting zone. Green flag in the air, and we are racing. Devin Butchino rockets down into turn number 1. He's got Riley Gomes right there on the outside. Here comes Sharn Hill down to the inside of Gomes as they come through turns 1 and 2. Through the flat part of the racetrack. Right here off turn 2, though, watch out. There's a big bump. Kind of dips down there, really unsettles the trucks as they come through there. Everybody seems to survive that portion of the track as they come through turns 3 and 4 for the first time. And as they come off of turn number 4, Devin Butchino is going to be your leader. Riley Gomes back in second, Sharn Hill back in third. And this is where you really want to be able to try to make things happen is on the short run. You're going to burn that right front tire off incredibly fast here. The surface is very abrasive due to those hard New England months. See Eddie Morris trying to make a move down to the inside of Sharn Hill as they come off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch towards the granite stripe. And yes, the start-finish line, much like Indianapolis has the yard of bricks, start-finish line here is actually made of granite. So it's a really unique piece of the racetrack. See a lot of drivers struggling with that turn 2 exit. As you see Sharn Hill trying to make a move down to the inside of Riley Gomes. Track facts for you as we see Eddie Morris now making a move down to the inside of Sharn Hill as they come down the backstretch towards turn number 3, and Eddie Morris using that low side. Sharn Hill way up on the high side, gets out of the groove. That's going to allow those two to race side by side down the front stretch and towards turn number 1. So here at New Hampshire, track is just over a mile at 1.058 miles. Turns are progressively banked 2 degrees on the bottom, 7 degrees on the top, 1 degrees down the straightaway. Again, that racing surface is asphalt and granite. There is a little bit of granite mixed into the asphalt here. That makes the racing surface very abrasive on these tires. That's where you'll see these drivers start to really start to fall off. Usually around lap 20 to 25. I do know the fuel run here tonight is between 50 and 55. So they'll be able to make it to the first stage, which is lap 40, without issue. But then for that second stage, they will need to pit at least once. Sharn Hill has Ryan Gomes trying to take a look down to the inside as they come off a turn at number 2, but Hill able to hold on that high side. Meanwhile, Riley Gomes is starting to get under attack from the 8 of Eddie Morris. Trying to peek a look down to the inside. That's not going to happen as Eddie has to tuck back in line. And while that's going on, the gap is growing for Devin Butchino, who is now out in front by almost a full second. Here, Devin already shifting, so shifting from the drop of the green flag. That also helps the truck get slowed down a little bit, helps the truck turn and get a good launch up off the corner. That's why we hear Devin doing that shifting. He is currently holding on to the lead. Now Ryan Gomes, gets a little loose off of turn 2 off that bump. He takes a look down to the inside of Sharn Hill, not able to complete that pass. He's going to tuck right back on the back bumper of Sharn Hill. He's going to give another run at it. And Joe Wright sits back in the 6th spot. Dave Wright already up 2 spots. Trying to work his way forward, coming to the back bumper of Ryan Likens. Trying to take over that 7th position. And Trey Spears is falling back 2 spots. As he catches the wall there off of turn number 2. He's falling back to the 10th position. And Just trying to hold on here for the stage break to try to get caught back up. Eddie Morris still trying to run down Riley Gomes. They come down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Ryan Gomes is taking another look at Sharn Hill. Just not quite close enough to get that move made. He's going to tuck back. You see him really slide in that truck. I believe that Gomes is not shifting at the moment. He's staying currently in 4th gear all the way around the racetrack. Battle right here between Dave Wright and Ryan Likens, and Wright slides up into Likens. This little slide job gone wrong puts Likens back a spot. Now Matt Allen going to try to make a move here on the 214 of Ryan Likens as they come off of turn number 2. Allen's going to have to stay tucked in behind. Still tries to work off the back bumper. And now he's going to look down to the inside of Riley Gomes coming off of turn number 2. Just barely side by side, but that time Gomes just barely able to stay out in front of Eddie Morris. This battle is continuing to go on here between Matt Allen and Ryan Likens. And while this is going on, it's allowing Trey Spears to catch right back up into the mix here. As Eddie Morris takes another dive to the inside of Riley Gomes. This time they're going to be door-to-door off of turn number 2. Drag race down the backstretch into turn number 3. Now Eddie's going to complete the pass and take over his second position and set his sights on his teammate Devin Butchinoff. Well, here comes Riley trying to make another move down to the inside, but just not quite close enough to make that happen. Now Sharn Hill in the mix as we see Riley Gomes moving all the way down to the apron trying to find as much grip as he can. And I figured that apron might come into play at some point during the race. Looks like right now Riley Gomes is experimenting trying to get something going down there. little further back, we see this little gaggle of trucks. Here's Matt Allen, Ryan Lakins, and Trey Spear. It's a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. As Trey Spear makes his way around Ryan Lakins. So Ryan Lakins falling back into the 10th position. Another battle taking place as Joseph Wright just made his way around Ryan Gomes. And Trey Spears trying to make his way around Matt Allen. See, Riley Gomes currently back in the 3rd position. Oh, Eddie Morris is pulling away, but Riley keeping the gap between him and Sharn Hill currently as Hill continues to stay about 0.4 of a second behind. If we take a look at the lap history here between Riley and Sharn, Sharn's been a little bit quicker the last 2 laps. And Riley's been a little bit quicker the previous 2 laps. So these guys have been trading laps back and forth quite a bit now as Trey Spears looks down to the inside of Matt Allen. A little bit, almost looked like some wheel hop out of Allen for a second, but he's able to hold on to it and stay out in front of Trey Spears as Trey got really loose off of turn number 4. Matt Allen to get that position back, but here comes Spears charging it back on the 127. He wants to take over that 7th position. We're about 15 laps away from the stage break. Looks like Spears is able to get into the corner a little bit better than Allen is. Allen's able to drive off the corner a little bit better than the 3. You see Spears using a little bit of that apron to help turn that 3 machine. They've got David Wright right there in front of them as well. This is quickly turning into a 3-truck battle with David Wright, Matt Allen, and Trey Spears. Allen gets around Dave Wright. Looks like Dave had a little stumble there off of turn 2. That also allowed Trey Spears to get right there on the back bumper of Matt Allen. Trying to take a look down to the inside as they come off of turn number 4. And Spears is almost able to get down underneath the 127. As we just have a handful of laps left here in this stage. Now Trey Spears down to the inside of Allen. As they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Going to be door-to-door off of turn number 4 in the drag race. Down the front stretch, down into turn number 1. We've seen Trey Spears able to outbrake Matt Allen in the last couple of laps, but Allen up on that high side, using a little bit more banking. Able to stay right there side by side with Trey Spears. And, ooh, some contact as Spears drives right into the side of Matt Allen. And that's going to keep the position of Matt Allen out in front of Spears. Dave Wright able to come right up into this battle again. Next time by, there'll be just 10 laps left in the stage. Devin Buchino out in front of Eddie Morris by almost 5 seconds. And then Riley Gomes sits back in 3rd. He's about a second ahead of Sharn Hill in 4th. But this has been the battle right now between Matt Allen, Trey Spears, and David Wright. That's been going on as Matt Allen's now chasing down Ryan Gomes. Matt Allen trying to take over the 6th position. Here comes Allen down to the inside of Ryan Gomes. Use that apron, help turn that 127. Gomes going to fight back hard up on that high side. As they go side by side through turns 1 and 2. While that battle's continuing, that allowed Trey Spears and Dave Wright to pull back up to Matt Allen, who Spears drives it in hard. Almost gets into the back. Allen going down into turn number 1. Allen thought about making another attempt at Ryan Gomes as he's going to take a look again down underneath the Cat 5-5 off of turn number 4. Oh, and some contact as yellow comes out. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind. And we were watching that one happen right there as they came down the front stretch. Looks like Ryan may have got up into the outside wall a little bit. Matt Allen kind of came up the track as Ryan went down the track. The two have a lazy slide down the front stretch. Ryan makes just a little bit of contact with the inside wall. Doesn't look like any damage to the 55, so he should be able to continue on without needing to use a reset. I mean, look at the front end of the 55. Looks pretty clean from what I can see, so I don't think he's going to need to use a reset on this one. And everybody coming down pit road, this is not the end of the stage. So they would call the stage if the yellow came out within 5 laps of the end. Since there was 6 laps, that is not the stage end. So everybody's going to make their way down pit road. And this is going to give Eddie Morris an opportunity to try to steal the stage win away from Devin Butchnow as we see everybody coming down on the pit road. We will watch the race off of pit road here. Four tires and fuel for everyone. Devin Butchnow getting the race, wins the race off pit road. Riley Gomes beats Eddie Morris off. And then Sharn Hill, Joe Wright, Trey Spears. Here comes Ryan Likens. Interestingly, David Wright and Ryan Gomes both stayed out on the racetrack. So those two trying to steal some stage points here, or maybe possibly save some tires, or play a little strategy here for the end of the run as the lights on the pace car will be going off next time by. It looks like David Hartney just leaving pit road now, right in front of the leaders. He was stationary on pit road for quite a while. Oh no, he was just a lap down, so he had to pit separately from the leaders. Not so much a lap down as I believe he was the lucky dog right there. So we will get ready to go back green flag racing in momentarily. And if you're just tuning in, we want to once again wish the driver of the 68, Devin Buchino, a very happy birthday. So happy birthday, Devin. And I know he's got friends and family watching. So it's nice to see the support there as we get lined up, ready to go back green flag racing. David Wright's going to choose the inside. Ryan Gomes to the outside. Row 2 is going to be Devin Buchino and Riley Gomes. Eddie Morris, Sharon Hill back in row number 3. Joseph Wright, Trey Spears in row 4. Ryan Lakins and Chuck Balance in row 5. Then Matt Allen taking the EOL for the incident, and David Hartney at the tail end due to being the lucky dog. Here we go, pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. And again, David Wright's going to lead them to the Geico restart zone. Green flags back in the air. And we are back racing, and we're going to see how much these fresh tires benefit Devin Buchino as he's going to drive down into the bottom right. Ryan Gomes overdrives the corner a little bit. We got 3 wide up front. Devin Buchino taking the lead away from David Wright. And those old tires have no grip compared to the new rubber here. As here comes Riley Gomes taking a look down to the inside of Devin Buchino as they come off the corner to start lap number 40, last lap of the stage. Does Riley Gomes have anything? Here comes Eddie Morris taking a look down underneath Sharon Hill. As they come down the backstretch, Riley Gomes going to use a little defensive line down into turn number 3. Ooh, Eddie Morris going to spin it, going to lose it off of turn number 4. Caution. Caution is out. That is going to end the stage, and Devin Buchino is going to be your stage winner. Riley Gomes brings it home second. Sharon Hill back in third. Joe Wright in fourth. Trey Spears in fifth. And then the rest is going to be when the yellow came out. Not sure how they're going to score it due to Eddie Morris going around in turn number 4. But yeah, Devin Buchino, the birthday boy, gets the win in the stage. And we will talk to Devin in just a moment when we get the field caught back up. Looks like everybody's going to go down and pit, so let's pull in your stage winner. Hey, Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
And congratulations on the stage win. And, of course, we also want to wish you a very happy birthday here tonight. But talk us through that run. You were out there flying there tonight.
Yeah, we got a weird time caution, but the truck felt really good. Tires seemed to be pretty good compared to our teammates here. I don't know if it's just the blessing of being the control car and be able to run our race, but I know Raleigh's got some speed there for the first 25 laps at least. So it looks like Eddie went for a spin. Sharon and Riley were quick there at the end of the stage. So hoping we can just keep this clean air, go green to the end, and try and just hit a rhythm, control this thing.
Well, I know in the pre-race, drivers were talking about the right front being the real issue here tonight. How are you feeling that right front here tonight? I already heard you shifting. Surprisingly, nobody else out there is doing that.
Yeah, it's eating up the right rear a little bit more than we'd like for the end of the run. It was getting a little hairball at the end of the run, but we're just gonna keep going with it. It's given the truck decent balance to be able to rotate center exit. So hoping we can just go green and capitalize on this one, man.
Well, good luck on the run to the end. I see you guys are about to go green, so I'll get you back up to your teammates. Again, good luck, and hopefully to talk to you at the end.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
So that was your stage winner slash birthday boy, Devin Butchino, going to choose the outside lane on this restart, putting Riley Gomes down on the inside. We'll see Sharon Hill and Joe Wright restart row number 2. Trey Spears, Ryan Likens, row 3. Chuck Balance, David Hartney, row number 4. Pace truck is in. Green flag flies yet again. We are back racing, and another great jump for Devin Butchino. Here comes Riley Gomes taking a look down to the inside of Joe Wright. Might have been a little bit of contact between those two trucks. Ooh, more contact between Joe Wright and Riley Gomes, as Joe Wright fights off Gomes and takes over that second spot. That's going to knock Riley all the way back into the 5th position, as he's fighting side by side with Ryan Likens. Now he's going to tuck back in line as Likens is going to take a move down to the inside of Sharon Hill. Down into turn number 1. He overdrives the corner, almost comes up into the 05 as they go side by side off of turn number 2. And oh, we got a spin in the back. Yellow is out. Looks like it's David Hartney. I believe David Wright was in that one as well. I think Matt Allen and Ryan Gomes got a piece of that, as well, as that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Oh, off of turn number 2, Hartney lost it all by himself. Spins right in front of David Wright. David locks up the brakes trying to avoid the 43. Matt Allen gets a little piece of it, and then Ryan Gomes gets turned around by, I'm sorry, that was Chuck Balance got a little piece of it. And then Ryan Gomes got turned around by Matt Allen, just trying to avoid it. So looks like that one's going to be on the 43 of David Hartney, and another self-spin. So we've seen that a couple times here tonight. Self-spins. Ryan Gomes going to come down to pit road. I think he's just going to get the damage repaired. Doesn't look like anything that needs a reset. Same for Matt Allen and David Wright. David's got a little bit of damage to the rear end of that truck, but looks like it's just enough that you can sit here on pit road, get that fixed up pretty well, not having to take a reset. Yeah, you see the right front of Ryan Gomes has some damage, but doesn't look like anything that I would consider too concerning on that 55 machine. The Magic iRacing will take a spin around this truck, and you can see, yeah, nothing. That's actually just looks like just the shape of the truck, so he should be good to go. So pace truck now coming across the stripe, and I believe the lights on the pace truck will be turning off this time, which they are. Devin Butchino is going to choose the high lane yet again, putting Joseph Wright down on the low side. Row 2 will find Sharon Hill and Ryan Likens. Row 3, Riley Gomes and Trey Spears. Row 4, Eddie Morris and Chuck Balance. Row 5 will be Matt Allen by himself. David Hartney at the tail end due to the spin. Ryan Gomes and David Wright coming off of pit road, so they'll start at the tail end of the pack. Here we go, pace truck is in. Again, Devin Butchino leads him down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Another great jump here for Devin Butchino as the field makes their way down into turn number 1. And the field starts to spread out early as Joseph Wright slides up in front of Ryan Likens. It slides into that second position. Ooh, they're bouncing off the wall in the rear. Looks like Chuck Balance bouncing off the wall at the tail of the field. The field rockets off of turn number 4 and down the backstretch. You see Ryan Gomes trying to take a move down to the inside of Chuck Balance. Might even try to take a look at David Hartney coming off of turn number 2. But here comes David Wright and Chuck Balance back on that high side. Well, Ryan right down on the low side continues to work that low side. Hook the bottom the best he can where it's really flat down there. Meanwhile, Sharon Hill taking a look down to the inside of Ryan Likens. A really aggressive move. He overdrives the corner a little bit. That's going to allow Likens to cross him over off of turn number 2. They're going to be side by side as they come down the backstretch. Sharon Hill. Now Trey Spears going to make it 3 wide as they come down into turn number 3. Ryan Likens wisely backs out, but almost makes some contact there with Trey Spears as they go side by side off of turn number 4. More door-to-door action as Likens and Spears make contact through turns 1 and 2. Spears trying to use that apron to his advantage. Now he's going to complete the pass on Ryan Likens. Meanwhile, right in front of him, here comes Sharon Hill trying to take over the second position on Joseph Wright. And behind we see Riley Gomes making a move to the inside of Ryan Likens. Gomes is going to take that position away, move himself up into the 5th position. Eddie Morris now sets his sight on these two, and Likens trying to use that high lane to fight back. Gomes has to, Ryan Likens has to get off onto the brakes early to keep from running in the back of Riley Gomes. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for second as Sharon Hill was trying to make a move down to the inside of Joseph Wright. We just saw Chuck Balance slow on the backstretch. Looks like he's got some damage. I don't know if he got in the back of somebody or if he caught the wall, but heavy damage to the front end of the 41 machine. Now Trey Spears up into the 4th position. He wants more. He's going to take a look down to the inside of Trey Spears. Sharon Hill as they come down the backstretch. Now Sharon going to make a move down to the inside of Joseph Wright into turn at number 3. So great battle here between our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers. We take a look here from the iRacing blimp, and you can see just how far ahead Devin Butchno is from the rest of the pack as Eddie Morris and Ryan Likens trading some paint there. That is a battle for the 6th position. Here comes Riley Gomes on that high side trying to take that spot away from Trey Spears. Sharon Hill going to lock himself now into that 2nd place. He's going to try to run down Devin Butchno as Joseph Wright and Trey Spears make some contact through turns 1 and 2. And Joe really aggressive with the pitching there on the 3. Come off of turn number 4, and Joe Wright's going to hold on to that 2nd position. Now here comes Riley Gomes. Thought about making a move as Trey Spears dives it down into turn number 1. Just overdrives the corner, and that going to stack up everybody behind him as Riley Gomes lost all his momentum because of that move. Allows Eddie Morris to take a look down to the inside of the 9. Now Trey Spears, more contact between the 3 and the 82. Joe Wright and Trey Spears continue to bounce off of each other. think Spears liked that bump that Joe gave him a few laps ago. Ooh, as Spears catches the outside wall. That allows Riley Gomes to take a look down to the inside, but Spears now back out in front as here comes Eddie Morris going around the high, long way around Riley Gomes, and here comes Matt Allen into this mix as well. Eddie Morris getting a little bump there to the 3 of Trey Spears. Now Riley Gomes going to take another move down to the inside of Eddie Morris as they go down into turns 3 and 4. We're about, looks like about 10 laps away. From halfway here. This has been the biggest battle so far of the night. Been Joseph Wright back to, well, now it's going to be Matt Allen. Joe Wright's able to put a little bit of gap on Trey Spears. Trey Spears trying to hold off a hard charging Eddie Morris, who lost it on his own earlier in the race. Bring out the yellow, bring out the first yellow of the night. He's doing everything he can to drive himself back up towards the front. And Trey Spears, ooh, Riley Gomes, it gets loose off the corner. Matt Allen kind of chases him down. Here comes Trey Spears with another move here on Joseph Wright. They are side by side and door to door off of turn number 4. I've already seen these two trade a little bit of paint. It won't be a surprise to see if these two end up getting into each other again here off the corner. Down into turn number 3. You see just how bumpy that backstretch is. That's actually where the road course comes back onto the on and off the racetrack, and that because of that, there's quite a big bump there. There's also a really big bump off of turn number 2 where these drivers have been competing with all night long, as Trey Spears now able to clear Joseph Wright off of turn number 2. So he's going to set his sights on the 05 of Sharn Hill. About a 2-second gap up to the 05. And another 2.5 seconds up to the 68 of Devin Butchnow. Eddie Morris taking a look down to the inside of his teammate Joseph Wright. As we mentioned earlier, the fuel run here is about 50 to 55 laps. All these drivers came down, most of them pitted on lap 35. So we should see drivers coming down between, let's say 85 and 90. And that should get them to the end. Although these drivers are going to want tires before that, as we've already seen the lap times fall off quite a bit. Eddie Morris's best time was a 30.76. Comes across the stripe this time. Looks like he's going to run a 32. $31.69. I take that back. So already about a second of fall off. Some of the other drivers I'm seeing a little more than that. A second and a half, almost 2 seconds. For Joseph Wright, so tire wear is becoming the issue here for some of these drivers. You see Riley Gomes trying to move himself around Joseph Wright to take over the 5th position. And Matt Allen right there as well, trying to sneak his way into the mix. Three-car battle here. Riley Gomes, Joseph Wright, Matt Allen down into turn number 3. You can see just how much these drivers are really sliding these trucks around. But right on board with Joe Wright. You can see his hands here as he gets down to the corner. Almost has Riley Gomes come up into the side of him. I had a great timing on that one. Here Joseph's doing a little bit of shifting as well. They're trying to get back to the throttle, just not able to get back there when he wants to. Riley Gomes up. Well, Riley's falling back as Matt Allen's gotten around the 9, and now Allen's going to take a look up to the high side. Down to the corner, and you see where Allen is just kind of hanging there off that back bumper. Allen trying to do everything he can to get to the back bumper of Joseph Wright. Right now, just not quite close enough to make that happen. Meanwhile, we've got a battle here. Trey Spears right on board with Trey. He's got Eddie Morris right there trying to make a move. Not quite close enough to make that happen as the field comes down the front stretch and into turn number 1 as we have we're coming to 50 laps to go. We're about I'm going to say about 15 to 20 laps away from green flag stops. Although we do have our first driver down on pit road. That is the 9 of Riley Gomes. Looks like he's getting 4 tires and fuel. He is down and away. Meanwhile, a little battle back here between David Hartney and Ryan Likens. Matt Allen still trying to stock Joseph Wright, trying to find a way to move himself up into the 5th position. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have Eddie Morris and Trey Spears battling it out for the final spot of the podium. Now Ryan Gomes makes his way down on the pit road. He's going to get 4 tires and fuel. You see that damage to the right rear? I didn't see that earlier. It doesn't look like it's really affecting the Cat 5.5, but a decent amount of damage to that right rear. It doesn't look like it's terminal or needs to be addressed too much. You might have a little bit of damage to repair in the pits, but nothing I would be too concerned with. Now Eddie Morris down on the pit road. So green flag pit stops starting to make their way, our drivers starting to make their way down pit road for green flag pit stops. And we got a caution as Ryan Likens has looped it around on the front stretch right in the Geico restart zone. This is right off of turn number 4. And that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 214. Seen this a couple times here tonight. Drivers just getting on the gas a little too quickly, looping it around. Lazy spin, doesn't look like too much damage, should be able to continue on. What that's going to do is that's going to allow these drivers who just pit to get the wave around, and it's going to allow everybody else to come down pit road and get tires and fuel. This is also going to erase Devin Butchino's 4-second lead. So down pit road they all come. There's Devin stopping out of his pit stall. Again, Ryan Gomes is going to be able to get their lap back and onto the lead lap. Devin Butchino, Sharn Hill, Trey Spears, Joe Wright off pit road. Who's going to be off 5th? Looks like it's going to be Matt Allen, then David Hartney. Joe Wright just barely going to sneak out in, David Wright going to barely sneak out in front of Eddie Morris, it looks like. Oh, I said that wrong. Looks like Eddie was able to sneak out in front of Dave. Well, they'll be able to make it to the end on fuel from here. We'll see the 55 and the 214 getting a wave around here, or they'll be able to get back around and onto the lead lap. And Ryan Likens is actually being scored 1 lap down. He's in front of the leader, so he's being scored a lap down. So he's the only driver currently on the racetrack who, well, I was going to say the only driver a lap down, but it looks like Chuck Balance is being scored a lap down as well as he's coming off of pit road. Actually, he is 2 laps down. So he is just coming off of pit road. Lights on the pace truck should be shutting off this time. We'll see our 2 wave around drivers get around the pace truck. Actually, one of them will. Ryan Likens is going to have to take his EOL and lose that wave around. Devin Butchino is going to take the high side, Sharn Hill on the low side. Row 2, you'll find Trey Spears and Joseph Wright. They've had a little bit of history here tonight. Row 3, Matt Allen and David Hartney, followed by David Wright and Chuck Balance. Eddie Morris, Riley Gomes in the back. And Ryan Gomes making his way around. He will be able to catch the tail end of the field as he coming down the backstretch. Pace truck's lights are back on, so we are going to go at just one more lap before we go back green flag race. I think that's because Ryan Gomes had not caught the pace car yet, and or caught the field yet, I should say. So now lights are off on the pace truck. We'll be going back green flag next time by. Of course, don't forget, next week will be the final race of the regular season. from Texas Motor Speedway. So pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Devin Butchno is going to lead them back down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Great restart for teammates as Devin Butchno and Joseph Wright get around Sharon Hill down into turn number 1. Meanwhile, way up on the high side, we see David Hartney working around the outside. Trey Spears. Trey Spears going to lose it off of turn number 2. Going to catch the inside wall. No caution. We stay green. Trey Spears able to get it refired going down into turn number 3. Lost a ton of time as Devin Butchino now out in front of his teammate Joseph Wright. And Sharon Hill and David Hartney up 8 spots up into the 4th position. As Sharon Hill going to take a look down to the inside of Joseph Wright. They're going to battle side by side down the front stretch. Joe Wright though getting the advantage off of turn number 4. This time Sharon Hill's trying to take a look at the high side of Joseph Wright. Joe Wright able to pull away from Sharon Hill as now David Hartney trying to make a run at the 05. Battle back here. Eddie Morris trying to work around his teammate David Wright to move himself back up towards the front. Trying to move his way up into the 6th position. Further back, you see David Hartney now pulling down to the inside, letting Matt Allen take that high lane, and then we see Dave Wright and Eddie Morris right here as this guy goes with 4 trucks, makes their way off of turn number 4, and Matt Allen's going to move himself up into the 4th position. Because now David Hartney under attack from David Wright. Dave Wright not able to make that pass, and that's going to allow Eddie Morris to get the run up on the high side. Dave Wright going to pull down as we got one spun around in the back. This is a Chuck Balance, backed it into the corner. No caution, but let's see what happened to Chucky here, because I saw it out of the back of my, corner of my eye. Oh, just moved it around and hard into the outside wall. Got the back end up in the air a little bit. He gets down onto the grass and resets, so no caution. We work lap number 90. And Eddie Morris making the move around David Hartney to move himself up into the 5th position. But Hartney fights back hard on the outside as we have 35 laps to go. Ooh, Eddie Morris catches the outside wall. David Hartney almost had the advantage, a little bit of a run there, trying to make a move back around Eddie Morris. Not quite able to make that happen. And Riley goes back in the 8th position, trying to work his way back through the field after being caught out on that most recent yellow. coming down pit road as the yellow flag came out. So that did trap him a lap down. Unfortunately, he's starting to work his way back through the field. He showed a lot of speed earlier in the race as he's trying to make a move down to the inside of David Hartney as David Wright makes his way around the 43. Meanwhile, up front, Sharon Hill starting to run down at Joseph Wright for that second position. Sharon was just right there on the back bumper. He is almost there yet again. Sean's able to get into the corner a little bit better than Joe. Joe's able to put the power down a little bit sooner than Sharon is, and that's why Joe's able to stay out in front of that 05 for now. Question is, how long is that rear gonna be able to stay on that 82 truck? As we see Riley Gomes making his way around David Hartney and up into the 7th position. He's gonna set his sights on the 84 of David Wright. As next time by, we'll have just 30 laps to go. So we'll take you through the field. Up at the front is Devin Butchno. Butchno currently out in front of second place by just over 2 seconds. Devin won the first stage. Of course, it's his birthday as well, so we'll wish him another happy birthday here as he makes his way off of turn number 4. Then Joe Wright up 4 spots where he started, currently in the 2nd position, trying to hold off a hard-charging Sharon Hill. Sharon started 3rd, currently running 3rd. Trying to find a way around Joe Wright. He's able to drive in a little bit deeper than Joe is, but not quite able to get the power down. But coming on quickly is the 127 of Matt Allen. He's been sneaking into the picture, running down Joe and Sharon a little bit, lap after lap. Another driver who's on a tear right now is the 8 of Eddie Morris. Currently runs back in 5th. And he's turning on the jets right now, and the afterburners trying to catch back up to the group in front of him. He's running as fast as the leader right now. Riley Gomes runs back in 6th. Started in, got a little loose there. Started in 2nd. Got caught off with that cycle of pit stops. Now finds himself battling here with David Wright. He's trying to get himself back up towards the front. A caution right now would really benefit that 9 truck. Find Dave Wright back in 7th. Started 10th. Moved himself up to 7th currently and having a solid run in that 84 machine. Another driver having a solid run is David Hartney. Got into a little trouble early. Looped it around by himself in turn number 3. Brought out a caution. Started dead last on the field. Now finds himself back in the 8th position. So having a good run in that 43 machine. Ryan Gomes, though, that's another story. Started up in 5th, finds himself back in the 9th position. Has had struggled on the struggle bus since catching a little incident midway through the race. Just got passed by Ryan Likens, who is currently being scored 2 laps down. Trey Spears runs back in 10th. He was up as high as 2nd at one point, but trying to make a move or on that on cold tires earlier, just a few laps ago, looped it around by himself on the backstretch, did not carry out the caution, and now finds himself running back in the 10th position. Ryan Likens having a rough race here tonight, currently scored 2 laps down. Did bring out one of the cautions with a self-spin and just has not had the luck here tonight that he was hoping to have. And then Chuck Balance has parked it for the night. He is out of the race. And that is your through the field here tonight, as we have 24 coming to 23 laps to go when Devin comes across the stripe next time by. Well, Sharon Hill now starting to run down Joe Wright. He's almost there. This is the closest he's been in quite a few laps. Joe just brushes the wall a little bit off of turn number 4. So easy to do here. As we see Hill right there on the back bumper, trying to get a run here. I don't think Hill wants to use the bumper, but it might come to that. Just behind, we see Eddie Morris running down Matt Allen here for the 4th position. So some great battles here on the racetrack among our top 5. Then from here on out, everybody behind our top 5 really spread out as the tires are really starting to go away for these drivers. I know some of these drivers would love to see a yellow right now to bunch everybody back up and get some fresh tires. Fortunately, when you have drivers spread out as they are, I do not see a caution coming out for the rest of the race. However, if it was to come out with just 2 laps to go, we do have 3 green-white checkers, and most of these drivers still have their resets as well. I don't think anybody's used a reset tonight, as most of the incidents were kind of lazy spins. Not a lot of damage, so we'll have to see if anybody, if the yellow was to come out, if anybody would come down to take tires, or if anybody might experiment and take 2 tires only. We'll have to see how this plays out here, as we have 20 laps to go. See the lap times between these 2 drivers, and well, Joe's been a bit quicker than Sharn, except for that 1 lap, 104. Other than that, I mean, it's not too far off. It's been pretty equal between these 2, but now Sharn Hill able to get right to the back bumper, and then he falls off. So that's where, even though they've been pretty even on time, though Sharn was a little bit quicker that time. Sharn just, again, able to charge that corner, be able to get into the corner so much deeper than Joe is, but Joe's able to get that power down, get that truck rotated, and pull back away from Sharn Hill. And then there's Eddie Morris still trying to run down Matt Allen. And Allen's been running downhill as well. If we take a look at these lap times here, well, Hill has been a little bit quicker than Allen the last 3 laps. It looked like Allen was starting to pull up to the 05, but now the 05 has found something, and he is pulling back away from Matt Allen. See Sharn again, big, almost a 0.2 of a second faster that time. I think Sharn Hill might have found something here, as he is now right on the back bumper of Joseph Wright. He's able to stay with him a little bit better this time as they come across the stripe, and this time, yeah, Hill is finally starting to eat into that 82's lead. Off the back, out the back window of Joseph Wright. See if Sean Hill tries to make a move this time. No, he's not quite close enough to make anything happen here. Joe, though, really struggling to get back to the throttle. Hill's lost quite a bit of momentum. We have 14 laps to go. Joseph Wright starting to pull back away from Sharn. This battle for second place continues to yo-yo as Hill's able to catch right back up to Joe. Joe starts to pull back away. Sharn catches right back up again, and it's kind of what we've been watching for the last 20 or so laps. We are quickly approaching 10 laps to go. Can Hill do anything with Joe here? Same time, Eddie Morris starting to catch right up to Matt Allen, trying to catch into the 4th position. So great battles from 2nd to 4th. With 10 laps to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Of course, tomorrow night, the SCSRA Dev Sports Car Next Gen Series will be taking on New Hampshire Motor Speedway over on the SCSRA Broadcasting Network. And then Sunday night, we'll have the SimRap Market. Ooh, Matt Allen up into a wall right there. It's going to allow Eddie Morris to catch right up. This Sunday will be the on week for the SimRap Market National Series. As this weekend, they'll be taking on Kansas Speedway. So you're not going to want to miss that. Tune in here on Intensity Broadcasting on a Sunday. At SimRap Market, they run every other week. So they'll be at Kansas this week. In 2 weeks, they'll be at Sonoma. Then North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, and Nashville, then Indianapolis. So they've got a really unique schedule. That schedule runs all the way to November. So don't forget to check out that every other Sunday here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, we still have our Tuesday truck doubleheader that the Doghouse Racing League concludes next week from Old Atlanta before the SCSRA Truck Series. So a lot of racing here on Intensity Broadcasting in the next few days. So hit that like button, that notification bell, so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. We have just 7 laps to go. Devin Butchno way out in front, not catching any lap traffic. Well, he does have some lap traffic. Looks like Trey Spears is out in front of him by, say probably about 4 or 5 seconds. He should not be an issue as Devin comes across track this time for 6 laps to go. And Sean Hill has lost Joe Wright yet again as that gap is now 0.4 of a second. Same with Eddie Morris. Eddie is no longer running down Matt Allen. As I say that, here comes Sharn Hill making another charge at Joe Wright with just 4 laps to go. And Sharn has caught him. Sharn is right there. See Joe get a little looser off of turn number 2. That's going to allow Sharn to catch right back up to the 82. And I know I said earlier, I don't think Sharn's going to want to use that bumper, but hey, if that bumper comes into play, he might try to move that 82 out of the way, as we have just 3 laps to go. Right along here with Sharn. Here, Sharn also shifting here, trying to run down Joe. Two laps to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Doesn't look like Sharn Hill's going to have anything for Joseph Wright as Devin Butchno comes across the stripe. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Devin Butchno's got a 6-second lead over Joseph Wright. So all Devin's got to do is basically put it in cruise control, and he'll have the win here as he comes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Off of turn number 4, and Devin Butchno will be your winner here on his birthday from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Joseph Wright comes off of turn number 4. He's going to finish in 2nd. Sharn Hill back in 3rd. Matt Allen 4th, and Eddie Morris comes home with a top 5 finish. But how about Devin Butchno getting the win here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway? Devin's going to bring it around to the front stretch for the traditional SCSRA top 3 finish. Devin Butchno celebrates his victory here. And we take a look at the final results. Again, Devin Butchno getting the win here tonight. Joseph Wright brings home 2nd. Sharn Hill 3rd. Matt Allen and Eddie Morris your top 5. Riley Gomes brings it back home in 6th. David Hartney finishes 7th. David Wright back in 8th. Riley Gomes 9th. Ryan Gomes in 9th. And then Trey Spears finishes 10th with Ryan Likens and Chuck Balance rounding out the field here tonight from New Hampshire as Devin Butchno makes that Polish victory lap around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. burns it down for the fans in turns 1. Normally where I sit when we go to New Hampshire, and Devin Butchino again gets the win here. He's going to park it right here. And he looks like he's going to savor this one, as he's going to just burn it down until those tires can't burn down anymore. Let's get ready to talk to our top 3. I forgot to get our picture here. Looks like Sharn has already exited his car, so we're not going to be able to get a picture of him, but we'll get a word with our third place finisher. Hey, Sharn, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy? Nope, you're showing muted on my screen.
Okay, I got you now.
There we are. Man, what a run for you here tonight. Finishing in third. Looked like you were going to get Joe for a minute, then you fell off of him, then you caught back up. Seems like you were able to drive into the corner a little bit better than the 82 there at the end, but he was just able to get the drive off a little bit better. Talk about that battle there with Joe you had for the last, it looked like about 20 laps.
So, I'm 26 years old, and I've been watching NASCAR since I was 3. And I watch races at New Hampshire all the time, twice a year, now once a year. And I knew I had never driven this track on iRacing before today. And I knew going in that passing was going to be really difficult. And when I got behind him, I was like, damn, this is even harder than I thought it would be. I felt like, he had a really good truck. He was really consistent. That last run went long enough to where, if I was fast enough, I should have got by him. But it was like a one groove situation. So I would catch him. I'll fall back a little bit, catch him. And then I just didn't really have the line that I wanted on exit. I felt like I was driving in deep because I could. And I felt like if I had the angle that I wanted off, I could have gotten a little bit better acceleration on exit. But it is what it is. I've struggled finishing races lately. So coming home in third, can't complain.
That is for sure. And having never driven this track before to come home in third, this is a difficult track to learn on the fly. So awesome job coming home on the podium here tonight. Well, you said this is your first time driving the track. So what did you find the most difficult? Just trying to find where the grip is on the track, or just trying to figure out how to make a pass here?
Well, the line ended up being a little bit higher than I expected it to be. I anticipated being maybe a lane and a half up. We were running off, I think it's like 2 different types of asphalt. We were running near the end of the race, like halfway in one part, halfway in the other, which was unexpected. Passing was definitely the hardest part. It seemed like, there was a lot. I feel like they were on restarts. It was pretty exciting. With the close racing between me, the 82, the 3, the 9. I think Eddie was having some fun too back there. But passing on the long run and trying to set stuff up, everybody was so close together. It seemed like as far as lap times, the guys they were running next to, it was kind of hard to pass. So I guess that was the hardest part. But learning it and figuring it out on the fly where the crew was going to move was pretty tough too.
Yeah, restarts here are always wild. This is my home track, so anytime I get to go to a race here, I always sit in turn 1, either on the front stretch or in turn 1, just for those restarts, because they are wild here for sure. But man, great run for you here coming home in third. Before we let you go, Sharn, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Everybody that supports me. I'm trying to get started racing in real life, and I've got a lot of people that are trying to help me make that happen. And if they don't watch the races live, they watch the highlights and the clips and rewatch the entire race the next day or later on that week. So everybody that's supporting me right now, it's really appreciated. My dad, friends, everybody. So yeah, I can't just individualize it, but a lot of people, everybody that is helping me knows that I'm talking about them.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. We move on to Texas next week. Good luck at Texas. And how do you like your chances next week at Texas?
Damn. So I own that track. I don't think I've ever done a race at the New Texas. that should be interesting. I feel like it's going to be a one groove track on the bottom. So trying to get under somebody in established position before they cut your nose off might get interesting. But it should be fun. 1.5 mile track, high speed, should be cool.
Well, again, good luck next week, and look forward to talking to you again.
Yes, sir. Look forward to racing you tomorrow.
I've been looking forward to it too. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
So that was your third place finisher, Sharon Hill. Let's bring in your second place finisher here, driver of the 82, Joseph Wright. Joe, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, buddy.
Man, what a run for you here. Coming home second here tonight, up 4 spots from where you start on a track that looked like it was so hard to pass here for a lot of guys here tonight. We heard you shifted. We heard you and Sharon having that great battle there at the end. Seemed like he'd catch you, you'd pull away, he'd catch you again. And it seemed like he was able to get into the corner a little bit better, but you were able to drive off. Because you were shifting, do you think that's where the advantage was there, getting that drive off?
Yeah, so to be clear, early in the race, I didn't shift at all. I was just kind of hanging in fourth gear, especially on the long run, trying to conserve some tire. Turns out that didn't help. And then, I had a little discussion with the teammates. So shout out to Neon and the boys in the channel about what to do, to change it up or make it better. And had a little talk, made some changes to my line and some things I was doing inside the car. Started shifting and picked up some speed there at the end. The only downfall I had, I think, over Dev is I actually had to clutch shift, but he didn't have to. He was auto blipping, so he had a little bit of advantage, I think, there from the shifting perspective. It's a little bit tougher to brake and then jump over the clutch and get on the, do the whole thing.
So you're saying he was cheating?
Yeah, well,
I know I personally like running the manual clutch myself, so
it makes it a little tougher. I mean, it's more realistic, makes it a little tougher.
A little tougher. When you hit it right, it's actually a little bit quicker. But man, I got to ask, how was that right rear tire? Because it seemed like you were sideways off the corner almost every lap.
Well, you gotta get on that right rear to be fast, and if you look at any race in the iRacing service, if you can get the car to shift its weight to that right rear, that's where it's at. And Devin's become a master at it. I'm just a novice behind him, watching what he does. Early in the race, we're just following his line, looking at what he's doing, learning from other drivers, having some racecraft, figuring it out.
Speaking of racecraft, it seemed like there was a lot of beating and banging out there for a little bit. Talk us through the middle part of the race, 'cause I know it was pretty wild for you where you were sitting.
Oh yeah, I mean Trey was up against my door I think a couple times. We were going back and forth at each other, little swipe here, little swipe there, and it was fun. I had fun racing. I didn't have a bad time at all. Then Riley came. He was trying to get up under me. I don't know. I felt like Ryan Newman out there. Nobody could get by.
Well, you always seem like Ryan Newman whenever I'm trying to get around you as well. So, man, great job out there tonight, Joe, coming home second place. And of course, before I let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you give here tonight?
Yeah, man. Shout out to you up in the booth for doing this every week. Shout out to the Neon team. Whale of a race. Too bad for Eddie not changing his brake bias. Sent him spinning around. And then, shout out to Dev Sports Cards and anybody else who's sponsoring the trucks this season. SCSRA, the best racers around. I'll tell you what, I'm having a great time this season. All the guys throughout the league are awesome. I haven't had a problem with anybody. Everybody's cool, so it's been good.
Well, I'll make sure to turn you tomorrow night to change it. No, I'm kidding.
I won't be on. I probably won't be on tomorrow night. I'm heading to LA here about 3 a.m. So.
Oh, well, good for you. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up spot here tonight. I know there wasn't much for Devin, but man, good run for you. And hopefully we'll see you at Texas next week
Thanks.
for a good run.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a great night.
You too.
So as your second place finisher, Joe Wright, let's bring in once again your birthday boy, driver of the 68 machine, Devin Butchno. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Man, great run tonight. Coming on with the win, dominating performance. I mean, there was just nothing out there you had that anyone else had out there. Talk us through that race though, because it seemed like everybody was just about to start pitting, and the caution came out. You were able to stay out and keep that under control. What was your thoughts about where the strategy happened there with the cautions?
Yeah, we got a couple more than I would have liked. I was telling Sharon, I think just very fortunate to be out front in that clean air. I mean, it from what I heard in the Discord, sounded pretty miserable to try and pass, and that's just New Hampshire, man. That third lane is just so powerful on exit. I went back and watched, I think it was maybe the season 2 truck race here, because that was the only one I could find on YouTube without having to look forever, because you guys have so many broadcasts. And I studied that one. We were able to win that one, but a certain driver that's not good at restarts, he was also very fast there. So I guess you could say I watched some film coming into this one just to see. I didn't know if it would be relevant, coming into this one, but we just found a lane that worked, man. Found a lane that worked, was able to keep the tires on it. Just never lost the rotation center exit, which was really big here. But yeah, a big part of it's just that clean air. The cautions had a couple more than we would have liked, but they timed out pretty well. 2 laps before the end of the stage, was able to get by D and get the stage still. And then don't pit with Eddie Morris, because that's 2 weeks in a row he's pit and the cautions came out. So we were about to pit the lap after that, and then the caution came out. Put us in our window, so I knew it was getting a good restart, kind of digging as hard as we could those first 10 laps while Joe and Sean were battling to set a cushion, and then just trying to hit our marks there at the end.
Well, I know the trucks and the next gen cars drive completely different, but coming into tomorrow night, was there anything you might have learned here tonight that would actually translate over to that next gen tomorrow night?
Truthfully, I mean, it's just familiarizing with the track. I really don't think, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you don't run the trucks a lot, but I don't really think there's anything that correlates between the trucks and the cars. It's more just familiarizing yourself with the track, the transitions, the progressive banking. Me and Eddie put some practice in yesterday for about an hour, and it's going to be a tough race, man. You got to drive that throttle with an eggshell under it. Those are going to be a little tougher to keep the right front, in drivable condition from what we've seen. But it's going to be a track position race, man. You don't want to get buried in the pack. Even if you're the fastest car on the track, if you get shuffled outside the top 15, you're not just going to be able to drive your way through everyone. It's just New Hampshire. So I think it just comes down to a good qualifying effort. But we've seen it multiple times this season. There's so many pit strategies, the way these cautions cycle out. You kind of just have to cycle out right place at the right time at the end of these in next gen.
Well, good luck tomorrow night. I know it's going to be another fun race. A little bit more, few more cars on the track, so it should be a good one as well. Next week we move to Texas. I know a lot of people do not like the new configuration of Texas. How do you like your chances next week?
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those people as well. I used to be really good at the old one. I just can't figure it out, man. It's like it's 1A and 1B with Texas, and then the track that won't be named, but I'll name it anyway, Kentucky, because they're very similar in their progressive banking, and 1 and 2 at Texas, and then kind of both ends at Kentucky. And I just haven't been able to figure it out. We're normally a back half of the top 5 car or truck at Texas, so not too optimistic. We're going to have to definitely put some laps in both if we can. But yeah, Texas is a really tough track. Those 2 progressive banking 1.5 miles, I cannot figure them out. I have not been able to wrap my head around them, but we got a decent cushion going into both. I'm very curious to see what the drop races look like, but one more race for the playoffs. There's 4 more playoff points with a stage and a race win on the line, so we'd love to go out there and get those if we can, man.
Awesome, man. Well, before we let you go, of course, who you got to thank? Who you got to shout out here tonight?
I just want to thank you for doing this, everyone at Intensity, title sponsor. We appreciate everything you guys have done for us going on. We're at 7 seasons now of just this league, but the league before that won't actually be named. So we appreciate your guys' continued support. Happy birthday to my mom last week. I didn't get any interviews. I fumbled the bag on the restart truck, so I got 0 interviews. So happy belated to my mom. Just want to shout out Dev Sports Cards as well, Morris Customs, Level Up Subs, New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, all of our sponsors, man. We've had a bunch on both sides this season. We can't thank you guys enough for being a part of it. The core group that we've built, I know we're only at 12 guys tonight, but they're a really strong 12 guys that we can build off of, and we have built a lot of morale. I think you've seen it on both sides. There's some really good, talented pieces that we've been fortunate to add to build into season 7 and onward. So, yeah, shout out to my dad as well, my girlfriend Kaylee. They always watch these with me. They appreciate everything you do. But yeah, man, we're already almost to the playoffs in season 7. Like I said, really strong core group, super respectful, and I'm excited to just keep building with what we have and finish this one off and go swing into season 8.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Happy birthday to you. Good luck next week at Texas, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, brother.
So that's going to do it from here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway as Devin Butchino dominates the win here tonight at New Hampshire on iRacing. That's going to do it for us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting on our doubleheader. Don't forget to tune in on Sunday night for the SimRap Market National Series. That's going to be taking place on Sunday at 9:30 Eastern. So it's going to be a good one. Don't want to miss that. Of course, next week is the end of our doubleheader as the Doghouse Racing League concludes their season at Old Atlanta. And then we move on to our final race at Texas in the regular season. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Check out our great partners, listed down below, including us over at Intensity Racing if you're looking for your own iRacing or your own racing swag, or if you want to pick up some Atlee Atman Weiss's gear as well, check out intensityracing.com. You can check out Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Of course, the Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Check out the Butt Kicker at thebuttkicker.com. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over